Maria Skłodowska was born in Warsaw, Poland on November 7, 1867. Her father was a chemistry and physics teacher, while her mother was not as passionate about science. In 1878, when Marie was 11 years old, her mother died of tuberculosis, shattering her world.
8 years later, Maria would attend what was known as the Floating University, which is an underground Polish university that would allow women to study.
In the spring of 1891, Maria finally arrived in Paris and immediately changed her name to Marie in an attempt to better fit in while attending Sorbonne University.
While living in Paris, Mary was forced to find a job in order to pay for a small apartment. As a result, she got a job working with magnets and electricity.
It is here that Marie would meet the love of her life, scientist and lab owner Pierre Curie. On July 26, 1895, Marie and Pierre were married.
A year and a half later, Pierre and Mary welcomed their first daughter, Irene Curie. Throughout Mary's pregnancy, she maintained a relatively modern approach toward her maternity, working until almost the day she delivered Irene and returning to work only days after giving birth.
In 1896, Henry Becquerel began studying uranium, while Marie and Pierre worked on magnets and electricity. His studies suggested that uranium emitted rays of light with no identifiable source.
After a long series of tests and strenuous labor, Marie finally isolated the element in the pitch blende emitting the rays. She had discovered radium. As a result, in 1903, Pierre, Henry, and Marie were all awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for their contributions to radioactivity and for the discovery of a new element, radium.
On April 19, 1906, as Pierre was on his way to a doctor's visit, he slipped on a cobblestone and was hit by a carriage, crushing his skull, killing him instantly.
I put my head against the coffin, and, in great distress, I spoke to you. I told you that I loved you, and that I had always loved you, with all my heart.
Almost immediately following Pierre's death, Mary takes a position as a professor of general physics in the Faculty of Sciences, becoming the first woman ever to hold this position.
After 2 years of teaching there, Marie is caught having an affair with married man Paul Langevin.
In 1911, in the midst of a scandal with Paul, Marie is considered for yet another Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry, for furthering her work with radium and for discovering polonium.
The problem is, for her, this affair showed that she was a sexual being. And the reason why that was so damning for her in ways it would not have been for a man was because it showed that her science was not nearly as saintly as everyone had made it to look. Because, of course, a woman's sexuality and her science were somehow seen as one and the same.
During the Great War, Mary created multiple mobile X-ray units due to the fact that there was only one for the entire army before that. With her help, they saved 1 million wounded soldiers.
In 1920, Marie is visited by American journalist Missy Maloney. While visiting, Maloney discovered that Marie needed more radium to continue her research. Maloney brought Marie and her daughters to tour the U.S. While at the White House, Marie was gifted $50,000 worth of radium from President Harding to take to Paris.
Marie returned to France, with her name restored and the future of her beloved institute secure.
On July 4, 1934, Marie died of overexposure to radioactivity. Today she is buried in the Pantheon in Paris, France, with her husband Pierre.